end of last year, Ariens Co approached Corso Systems about an ongoing digitization project that we're going through. Ariens Co is a maker of snowblowers, lawnmowers, push behind, zero turn for consumer and commercial markets. And so we came together with them and decided to implement a solution. So the process for the operators at Ariens was to track all the produced parts and scrap by hand on pen and paper. And once that data was tracked, then it was collected into a digital format via manual data entry. And then the final step of that process was to take that data and leverage the highly complex tables to service the efficiency of the work center. And the data was aggregated to determine the overall plant efficiency. Manual data collection from the operators, while it had been effective in the past, was starting to become outdated and needed to be addressed. And so some of the errors from the manual entry easily multiplied across the various translations. Operators might make an error when transcribing a part count. Analysis might input the wrong value when transcribing a digital format, and there was also room for additional error when driving the data calculations through unlocked and open forms. This stacking of potential errors left Ariens exposed to risk that they deemed no longer acceptable. So the solution. To solve these problems, we made several improvements. First, we changed the process for the operators. Ariens was already in the process of installing Horner XL7 PLCs to 116 different machines, welders, laser cutters, brake presses, paint booths, etc., with the purpose of collecting as much data as efficiently as possible. The new process was for operators to scan their physical work orders for each production run from MOs, their manufacturing orders, that came directly from the ERP. All that information gathering was triggered from one barcode scan, and then the PLC and Ignition handled the rest from there. So Ariens worked with Corso Systems to handle taking the data and creating a real-time OEE engine for analysis from the plant level all the way down to the individual work center. Within the scope of work, there were several major areas of focus: connectivity, PLC interaction, ERP interaction, data processing, and visualization. With the connectivity portion, Corso was tasked with assigning the Ariens crew, or assisting the Ariens crew on troubleshooting connectivity from the hardware side, and was able to confirm once machines were online via Ignition. The PLC interaction was much more involved, as the Corso team and the Ariens team needed to work side by side from opposite ends of the line of communication to make sure the two programs were speaking different languages while communicating through the proper translation. Corso needed to make sure that all the parts counters, operator scans, scrap counters, manual adjustments, and timestamps coming from the PLC were high quality data points, and again used Ignition to validate that process. The ERP interaction streamlined the separate data sources. The manufacturing order is scanned, and on the fly, that number is then sent back to the ERP via the web dev module to gather all the information regarding that part or parts, depending on the process. All information regarding the engineering studies performed is stored in the ERP and it keeps everything centralized. With having one data source, Corso was able to eliminate potential noise when translating from one system to the other. The ERP connection also served as an endpoint to handle associating operators' RFID badges with their employee identification numbers through an AD integration. Upon process completion, the part counts were passed up to the ERP to update inventory, aiding the scheduling and planning side of the operation. Once all that information coming in had the proper designations coming up from the PLC and going out to the ERP, the Corso team was able to incorporate everything into the Sepasoft production model to perform analysis and calculate real-time OEE for general and granular aspects of the plant. The navigation system. We saw this as probably the most central part of the integration. What we did was take the information pulled from all the machines, operators, and ERP, and we needed a way to visualize everything in a clear, understandable format that high-level executives and on-the-floor operators all understood at quick glances. Corso was able to create a navigation system that allowed the user to glide through the different scopes of the plant and also adjust the metrics that they were viewing: performance, availability, downtime, quality, OEE. Either can be adjusted on the fly, scope, or analysis metric in order to allow flexibility when comparing work centers to each other and looking at different metrics for each work center. Mix in a navigational strategy with the custom screens and a dashboard widget created custom by users and saved to their profile, and Corso was able to create an efficient, high-powered visualization scheme for the Ariens team. So the project scope. There were over 3,600 device tags and over 8,500 live analysis tags. We limited it to 9 perspective pages to keep it kind of narrow as possible so that we didn't have people having to jump too far around. We went with unlimited clients so that anybody, anywhere could access this via desktop or mobile. And then we have 360 total alarms, 3 per device. The devices were the previously mentioned Horner XL7 PLCs and then 4 Bystronic brake presses, standard architecture, and then the databases we used were the 3 SQL servers, a general application configuration database, historical, and Sepasoft MES. And then there were over 7.5 million rows and 1,600 tags logged historically. Getting into the screens and the navigation. So on the left-hand side, you'll see our main navigation driver. We've got our OEE, custom dashboards, and our reports that we used for validating communication with the ERP with the MO scans. And then we get down to scope. This is built out so that we can have additional plants, as they have plants all over the country and world. So right now we have plant 1, and then we have the individual areas: cutting, forming, welding, machining, paint, and assembly. And then from there, you can dive into the individual lines, 530, 540, and then the individual work centers themselves. You can also adjust the scope based on time on the left. And then if you want to adjust based on OEE, availability, performance, or quality, you can mix and match, kind of choose your own adventure. So if I were to click on 540.0532, it would bring me to this next screen here, and it would further dial into it here, giving us kind of a breakdown of our quality, performance, and then availability, as well as information on each work order and how that was performed. This is an example of the custom dashboard. What we did is we created all sorts of widgets. You can drag and drop, again, choose your own adventure on this one. And then you can export, send it to another user. They can then load that to see exactly what you're seeing. This way, each individual user associated with their AD login could then see exactly what they wanted to on their dashboard each time, and then they could share it with others throughout the plant as well. And then this is where we get up into the higher level views. We've got the plant 1 OEE right here, and it just gives you the very broad strokes of what's going on. This is all simulated data, just so that we're not revealing any industry secrets. And then again, here you can go from OEE, dial into availability, performance, and quality. And then here's just another example of, rather than forming, we've got welding. So the result of the project is we took a company from pen and pad analysis that was taking much longer than desired for OEE to on the fly, real-time understanding what is happening on the plant floor, with the ability to see high-level overviews and drill down into each line, work center, and employee. Management can take action to effect change for the good of the company at a much higher rate. Throughout the process, there were moments of reflection for both the Ariens and Corso teams to adjust procedures and grow as companies and individuals, which we both capitalized on every time.